Greetings everyone, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, here to bring you another retro review from past seasons of The Loud House. In today's video, we look at a past episode from Season 1 where the future is what you make of it, and you pay whatever price that comes with it. Today's episode is titled Raw Deal. First we'll discuss the plot, and then my thoughts and critiques with my final score. So, let's get right into it. The episode begins with the Loud family on their way to Grand Venture State Park. On the way, Lucy decides to predict everyone's future with her fortune-telling cards. When she gets to Lincoln, she regrets to inform him his day will end in tragedy. This makes Lincoln scared for what the day will bring, but Lisa, who doesn't believe in fortune-telling, thinks Lincoln is worried for nothing. However, each of the predictions for the Loud kids begin to come true, and even Lisa has to admit Lucy's predictions are not just coincidences when she makes a scientific discovery before entering the park. Feeling convinced something bad will happen to him, Lincoln refuses to participate in any of the fun activities the rest of his family are doing. When the time comes for Lisa to show off her discovery of the dowel, an owl with deer antlers, it turns out the animal she found is not some kind of hybrid, and the park ranger admits he faked the dowel as a publicity stunt to attract people since the park's geyser stopped erupting. Since Lisa's prediction didn't really come true, Lincoln starts to believe his prediction didn't come true either. Well, technically it did, but I'll get to that shortly. Before leaving the park, Lincoln sees the once inactive geyser erupting for the first time in years. Although no one else got to see the geyser go off, Lincoln quietly says his day was the best ever, not ending in tragedy. Well, that concludes the plot of the episode, so now we come to my thoughts and critiques. If I could sum up this episode in just one word, it would be clever. Say what you want, but it's simple conflicts like this that make you appreciate the writing and how the episode doesn't have to get overly complicated to get from point A to point B. As predictable as it is, Madam Lucy's cards laid out your standard, what you think is not what you're actually going to get, fortunes. The words used in each fortune described something that would happen to each of the kids, and they came true in their most basic form. Going on a long trip, getting blown away, and being rewarded double were not meant to be taken too seriously. They were, as Lisa said, just mere acts of coincidence, and that's what's clever about them. No deep meaning, just, hey, this happened, how fortunate. You can't blame Lincoln for thinking his fortune of impending tragedy might come true based on what happened to his sisters, although maybe he could have thought a bit more about what the tragedy part could have actually meant instead of assuming the worst. However, if you look at Lucy's reaction to reading Lincoln's fortune, I'd be worried too. Does that look like a smile you can trust? Nonetheless, he chose to remove himself from all the fun things he wanted to do that day and came up with many outrageous reasons for doing so. He even missed out on some good old-fashioned family fishing, and technically Lenny did too. Oh, simple Lenny. In the end, Lincoln says his prediction didn't come true, but actually it did, at least originally. He wasted his whole day worrying about something bad happening to him and came to realize the tragedy was him robbing himself of a fun day. If you think about it, his tragic day turned into a happy one when he saw the geyser erupting, making Lucy's prediction more inaccurate than anything. A similar inaccuracy took place with Lisa, who I was surprised was willing to abandon logic when she discovered the dowel. I have to say I found it a little strange how she couldn't figure out earlier that the dowel was not real. What genius thinks an owl can sport deer antlers? To be fair, she was nowhere near a laboratory, so she kinda had to run with it for the time being. Come on, she's still 4 years old and they're still impressionable no matter how smart. Regardless, she never made a scientific discovery since the dowel was not a real and organic creature. So she never actually experienced an act of coincidence from Lucy's cards. Still, I don't think it's fair for her to discredit her sister at the end of the episode when 8 out of the 10 predictions came true. Lucy's last prediction, shattering the fourth wall in the process, said, "The end is near." And behold, the end finally came sooner than we thought. Maybe the cards don't lie after all. Overall, this episode may not be spectacular, but it is clever in its writing. I really liked the way the predictions were set up and then played out. The story was good for what it was, and we all learn a valuable lesson. Don't live your life in fear because, as Lincoln said, the real tragedy is missing out on it. But if I were him, I would be more worried about not missing the cutoff times during rest breaks on car trips. When the dad says he'll leave if you're not on time, I'd start believing it after this day. With that said, I give Raw Deal an 8.9 out of 10. Well, folks, that concludes my review of Raw Deal. This was one of those few times Lisa decided to ditch logic when it came to believing in superstitions, but then went right back to thinking they're all phony. Gee, if only she could have been that way and no such luck. But, oh well, can't change the future's past. So what did you guys think of it? Love it? Hate it? Something you would add? Change? Keep it as it is? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to this channel for the latest Loud House content. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys for the next video, but until then, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, signing off. Peace out, home slices.